Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Well, this really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, now should it? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that Lee is one person in the family that probably has less ethics and morals than both Poppy and Luna combined. While her heart might be in the right place, as a doctor, it's surprising that she still has her medical license at this point. It wasn't too long ago that she hid the fact that Finn was alive when everyone assumed that he was dead, and she's now doing the same thing with her niece, Luna. While it might be admirable that she wants to give Luna a second chance at life in the hopes that she can redeem herself, she's also giving everyone the false impression that this killer is dead. Of course, B&B fans certainly did have a lot to say about where this storyline might be going on social media. Some even commented with, "While I am happy they kept talented actress Lisa Yamada on, I wonder how they will insert her into the storyline once this hidden medical care gets done with." However, they did this exact storyline already, also with Lee as a matter of fact, when she had hidden Finn and was caring for him in secret. So there's that, but hey, we're here for it. Another fan of the show wrote, "So Lee is some sort of kleptomaniac, but instead of stealing ceramic unicorn figurines, she pockets people and spirits them away to her home ICU?" And then there was this comment as well. Lee despised Luna when she first showed up in LA. Then, in one episode, while she was talking to Finn, Lee completely changes and feels so sorry for Looney Tunes. Lazy, insulting writing once again. The streets of Los Angeles glistened after a light morning rain, but inside the Forrester Creations offices, the air was charged with something far heavier than the weather. Whispers about Lee Finnegan's latest actions had already started to spread, and by lunchtime, it was clear this wasn't just idle gossip. It was a revelation that could shake her carefully constructed image. For years, Lee had prided herself on being a woman of discipline, ethics, and medical integrity. She wore her white coat like a suit of armor, wielding her position as Dr. Lee Finnegan with an air of unshakable authority. To many, she was a force of justice and reason, a stark contrast to her free-spirited sister, Poppy Nozawa, whose unconventional lifestyle and past mistakes often drew Lee's scorn. It started with a patient, an elderly donor with deep pockets who had connections to the Forrester family. This donor had been involved in a quiet medical controversy, one that, if exposed, would not only jeopardize his reputation, but also his substantial financial contributions to the hospital. Lee had the choice every doctor dreads: follow protocol and report the situation to the board, or quietly lose the incriminating paperwork and allow the man's secret to remain buried. She chose the latter. On the surface, she justified it as protecting the hospital's funding, ensuring staff could keep their jobs, and preventing media chaos. But deep down, she knew this was also about keeping her own reputation spotless, because she had been the attending physician on the case. Any exposure would put her under scrutiny, and Lee Finnegan refused to let her name be dragged through the mud. The shocking part? Even Poppy, with her history of questionable choices, admitted she wouldn't have crossed that particular line. Poppy found out not through gossip, but by accident. She was at the hospital, visiting a friend, when she overheard two nurses whispering about Dr. Finnegan's cover-up. Later that evening, Poppy showed up at Lee's apartment, still in her bohemian dress, hair loose and wild from the wind. "You deleted medical records?" Poppy's voice was more shocked than accusing. Lee's eyes narrowed. "Don't believe everything you overhear. It's more complicated than that." Poppy crossed her arms. "Complicated or not, you've spent years telling me I'm reckless, that I don't have morals, that I think only about myself. But at least I've never endangered patients for personal gain." Lee bristled. "I protected the hospital, and I protected the people who depend on it. Sometimes morality is flexible." "Flexible?" Poppy shook her head, laughing bitterly. "That's just a pretty word for gone." The argument didn't end there. Poppy told Luna, unable to keep the revelation to herself. Luna's wide-eyed shock said it all. Her admiration for her aunt had been genuine, almost hero worship. To learn Lee could bend the rules so drastically shattered something inside her. You always told me to do the right thing, Luna said the next morning when she saw Lee at the hospital. But what you did, how is that right? Lee didn't flinch. I told you to think about the bigger picture. Sometimes the right thing isn't the easy thing. Luna's voice was quiet but cutting. Or maybe sometimes the right thing just isn't what you want it to be. Dr. John Finn Finnegan, Lee's son, found himself caught between loyalty and ethics. When Steffi brought up the whispers she'd heard from a friend at the hospital board, Finn's stomach dropped. He knew enough about his mother to guess there might be truth behind the rumors. Finn, Steffi said, if this comes out, it's going to be ugly. For the hospital, for your mom, and maybe for you. Finn rubbed his temples. I can't just throw my mother under the bus, but I also can't pretend I'm okay with it. She's held me to impossible standards my entire life, and now. He trailed off, the betrayal in his voice unmistakable. Steffi's eyes softened. Maybe it's time she sees that actions have consequences, even for her. Ironically, Poppy's recent past had shown more growth and restraint than anyone expected. She'd been working to rebuild trust with Luna, making responsible choices, even turning down offers that might have brought her quick cash but shady reputations. When word spread among their family that Lee had crossed a legal and ethical line, some couldn't help but point out the irony. For once, Poppy's the moral one. Bill Spencer joked to Wyatt during a business meeting. The remark stung Lee when she heard it secondhand. For years, she defined herself as the better sister, the one with order, the one who lived the right way. Now, her halo had slipped, perhaps for good. It didn't take long for the hospital board to catch wind of Lee's actions. She was called into a private meeting where she defended her decision as necessary to protect the institution's future. One member of the board, a stern woman with decades in hospital administration, didn't buy it. A.R. Finnegan, the moment we decide that rules are only for the small cases and not for the big ones, we've lost our integrity. You didn't protect the hospital, you protected yourself. Lee left the meeting knowing she had escaped immediate termination, but her reputation within those walls would never be the same. The looks from colleagues, once respectful, were now wary, even judgmental. The biggest blow came from Poppy herself. After the board meeting, Lee found her sister waiting outside. You know why you really have less morals than me, Lee? Poppy asked softly. Because at least I've been honest about who I am. I've made mistakes, sure, but I've never pretended to be perfect while doing them. You hid behind your title and your rules until those rules got in your way. Lee's lips tightened, but she didn't reply. She couldn't, not when every word Poppy spoke felt like truth. The fallout from Lee's actions is far from over. Finn must decide whether to protect his mother or distance himself to preserve his own integrity. Luna is left questioning which family values she truly wants to follow. And Poppy, for once in her life, has the moral high ground, something she might use to reshape her relationship with both her sister and her daughter. In Los Angeles, where reputations are currency, Lee's stock has taken a major hit. She may still wear her white coat, but now it feels less like armor and more like a disguise. For a woman who once saw herself as above reproach, the truth is a bitter pill. At least for this moment in time, Lee Finnegan has less morals than Poppy Nozawa. And that reality might be harder to heal than any medical wound she's ever treated. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.